Hey there, hey, and thank you for tuning in to this Monday pod of Born to Be a Star. Oh boy, I missed you guys from last week. I know you're probably wondering, where did Star go and what happened to star power and what happened to the positivity and the mantras and the happiness. But sometimes I think it's important for us to take a pause, take a break, and breathe. And so that's what I did. I took a break. I also wanted to observe life in general for a week so I can give you some more insight on everything, especially when it comes to politics and just everyday life and fashion and fashionos and what's in, what's out, and everything that's going on. So here we are. It's another week and it's another opportunity for us to recognize our star power, for us to reflect on where we've been and where we're going to on our journey, our star journey of life, and for us to recognize that our reflections in the mirror are a reflection of where we've been and where we're going to next, right? We should be working very hard to love our reflections, to love what we see, and to acknowledge where we're going to next. I want to see you look at yourself in the mirror and see you love yourself. Now, granted, I can't see you where you are, but imagine me as a star in the sky, just watching above, gracefully watching you accomplish everything that you want to. That's really the goal here with the podcast, is so other stars all around the world recognize their star power. So when they look at their reflection in the mirror, they're seeing the light that I see too. We should start our days off by saying to ourselves, yes, we can learn a new language. Yes, we can try a new hobby. Yes, we can change our minds. Yes, we can decide we want to change our favorite color. Yes, we can decide we want to finally buy a new car because we're tired of putting money into something that is not worth it. Yes, we can decide that maybe we want to continue to rent instead of buy property because of negative equity and we don't want that. Yes, we can decide that we want to be optimistic and happy instead of miserable and sad. Yes, we can decide we want to change our lives for the better instead of accepting the worst. And yes, we can learn how to play chess, learn how to play the saxophone, learn how to watch a new show, learn how to cook something we've never cooked before, right? And I know sometimes it can be a little concerning or it can feel strange to try things you've never tried before. Like, I'll give you an example. Indian food or Indian culture was really something that I was not that familiar with. But taking time to learn more about it and like cook the food and have it become some part of my normal everyday life is really fun. And I like learning about things that I don't know about. And I think if you find yourself feeling that way too, why don't you say yes you can to it and try something different, right? Yes, you can accomplish any goal you put your mind to. And you should be saying the positivity to yourself. If you try it, why can't you accomplish it? That should be the goal, right? Outside of saying yes you can to yourself, you also should be saying to yourself, I'm never going to give up. Because how can you give up on yourself or anybody you love and not persevere through the difficulty? How can you just say, this is too hard, I'm going to give up? Now, I caught my own self feeling some type of way about life last week, so I'm glad I did take a break. It's been a lot, man. I feel like sometimes we get caught in our lives and we start questioning where we are, what we're doing, why is this happening to me, why am I experiencing this? And I've had lots of those days, and I've had many of those occasions where part of me just wants to just give up, and part of me just wants to be like, you know what, I can't do this anymore, I quit. But that's really not how life works. So no, we cannot give up on ourselves or anyone else that we care about. We have to persevere through the difficulty. We have to see the light in the darkness, and we have to be the light in the darkness. And I know it's not easy for a doctor to tell you you've got cancer and you don't know if you're going to make it. And it's probably not even easier if your mom is sick, or your dad, or your brother, or your sister, or your best friend, or your husband, or your wife, or your kids. There's something wrong with your kids. I've told you the story many times about me struggling with polycystic ovary syndrome, and the fact that now I've come away from that. that used to be something where I thought I had to give up on it because I didn't think it was going away. So now that that's over, hopefully in God's name, please, Lord, at some point soon I'll become a mom, right? At some point soon my husband will become a dad. Our brothers and sisters will become aunts and uncles. And the family name will live on. The generations of us will continue and begin. This is not something that isn't going to happen. And even if I somehow, some way cannot actually have kids, who knows? I can still adopt them, right? Maybe I'll become a foster parent. There's other options. Instead of just feeling like you have to cave to the darkness and you have to acquiesce to fear and you have to sit there and allow misery and pain to corrupt your mind and to fill you with nothing. Instead of doing that, find a way to find hope. Find a way to surround yourself in happiness. And find a way to be the light in the darkness. Even if you have to do it for yourself. Even if you have to talk to yourself in your consciousness. I feel like the darkness is always chasing me. And I am always pushing myself back into the light. Because I know that if I don't do that, I'm not going to survive. At least not happily. So don't give up on yourself. Let's follow John Cena's mantra. Let's be positive. Let's see the light in the darkness. Let's encourage others. Let's inspire others. Let's be the hope. Let's be the faith. Let's be the reason. Let us all be that for each other. That's the idea of never giving up, is that we'd never give up on each other and we'd never give up on anybody because we have the ability to see the good in everything. There's a thought. And here's your Monday. Moving on from the never give up, let's get to our favorite part of this mantra. Why not today? Because we should not put off today for tomorrow. We cannot pretend like we got a click button like Adam Sandler in the movie Click. And we can't pretend like we get to control time and we own infinity. This is not the Lazarus effect on TNT, right? There is no button. There's no time machine. We're not going back into the future. No, we're stuck in reality. And I'm sorry. No one is smart enough to create teleportation or time, because if they were, then I'm pretty sure things would definitely be different. Or maybe they did. I don't know. Part of me seriously thinks that we're in the Matrix. And I'm thinking about adding a segment to the podcast called that. So we'll see what happens on today's podcast. Maybe there'll be an introduction to that. But I always give you the example of the dishwasher and the dishes in the sink and how you want your dishwasher to be fixed instead of washing everything by hand. And don't get me wrong, I love Dawn. I like Mr. Clean sponges. I like cleaning things. It's fun to me. But why do I have a dishwasher if it's not going to work? What is the point of that, right? If I'm working all day and I'm getting off and I'm making dinner and eating with Skip and we have dishes, do we really want to be spending forever washing the dishes? Isn't that what the dishwasher is for? If it's clothes day and it's a Friday or a Saturday and we're washing clothes, don't we want the washing machine to work? Do we really want to try to figure out how to put clothes into a bag, put it in the car, and then drive it to a laundromat, or try to find a family member to let us use their washer and dryer? No. So you got to figure out how to fix that. You got to go in the basement and get on Angie's List and get creative, I guess. If something's not working, you got to find a way to fix it. If your car's not working correctly and you need that car to get to work, then, dude, you got to bring that car to a mechanic and figure out what's going on with it. Because if you don't do that, you're screwed. There's that. There is no get out of jail free card here. This is reality and this is life, and we can't buy time. I understand you might be upset about what I'm saying. This isn't a movie. This is reality. There is way too much at stake for you to be putting off today for tomorrow, pretending like you don't have to make organization important in your life. Be aware that if you don't organize correctly, if you don't push forward correctly, you're going to fail, and it's not going to be fun. That's why we have the mantra of why not today with the example of the dishwasher. Because you can't put off today for tomorrow. If you need to make appointments, if you need to show up somewhere, if you have something that you need to do and you seriously need to accomplish, you can't put it off. It's going to come bite you in the ass one way or another. So just do it and do the things that you need to do. I always also give you the example of being responsible and reliable and being someone that can get things done effectively. If you're not going to be that person, then you're going to recognize how more difficult your life is going to be. You need to control these things, these mantras, especially the why not today, because putting your life off for another day is never going to be the answer. It just isn't. So today is a Monday, and we are going to do things correctly, and we are going to get things done. And by the way, on this Monday, some weird stuff happened in town where they blocked off an entire main street that I didn't understand, but who knows. Moving on from the mantra, thank you for tuning into that. Let's get to the headlines with no media allowed, no media allowed, no media allowed, because they lie to us anyway. So I'm just going to start off by saying that Jamal Bowman is having a temper tantrum in Bronx, and he showed up in some hoodlum outfit, and he flipped out, and AOC came up on the stage, gave him a weird hug, and he started saying, if you're going to attack me, I'm going to protect myself. He insulted Jewish people in the meantime, and he just came across really tacky, and it's honestly embarrassing. You morons want to elect these unqualified, uncultured, ignorant people in office. And I'm not saying he's any of these things because of the color of his skin. I'm talking about his actions. Why is AOC running around with Megan the Stallion music on and promoting what exactly? What policies? What legislation have they created that's going to help American people, especially Bronx? Okay? Have you been to the Bronx? Have you seen the Bronx? Have you been to South Bronx? Have you been there? I've been there. I'm very familiar with it. I have family that has lived there and does live there now. I know about the Bronx, right? There's also the Bronx Zoo. It's just another city, another borough. But looking at these idiots run around and look stupid the way that they do, watching them with their rhetoric and their stupidity, I mean, is this all that they have? This shit show that's going to happen on Thursday or Wednesday or whatever it is, that this crappy debate they're going to have for Donald Trump is going to be absolutely hilarious. And I can't wait to watch it. Jake Slapper is the guy that's the one that's going to be controlling the conversation with another moron. So it's going to be 3-on-1 at this debate. We all know that. And you got AOC and Jamal Bowman running around trying to get him hype or raise money for his re-election that he's losing. That's the most important part about this conversation. It's likely he is not going to remain in that seat. It's likely another Democrat is going to take it away from him. Maybe insulting Jewish people was a bad idea, and he's always going to be known as the fire marshal for pulling the fire alarm so he could hold off a vote, and he thought no one was going to recognize that. For the love of God, these people are so ignorant. And the more we get to see who they are and their actions, him cussing, using profanity, him acting stupid. Now, I'm the first person to tell you I definitely have a sailor's mouth, but I'm not a politician. I definitely have a sailor's mouth, but I know when and where to say things and when not to say things. If we're going to be effective here and we're actually going to change the dynamic and we're going to change the outcome for the world, not just the United States of America, but the world entirely, then we have to be honest about what's happening. These people are DEI hires. They're unqualified to be serious politicians, which is why they run around hyping up social media and Instagram. AOC running around hyping up the Megan the Stallion and other rap artists is cool. And I don't have anything wrong with Megan the Stallion. I did an entire podcast on how I maybe don't agree with some of the things she's saying in her music, just because I just find it really distracting. And I'm the first person to tell you that I used to like rap and now I think it's crap. But is this really a good look for you to be painting a picture like that where you're so disconnected from reality and the people that you need to vote for you, that you're coming across with a t-shirt on and some shorts, cussing and yelling and having a temper tantrum because you're losing? Is this what they look like when they're losing? Because it's not going to get better here. And listening to Jake Taffer and Clinton News Network and their bull crap that they do there leads me to think that my guess from earlier in 2023, before the red wave didn't happen, is correct. They can attack Donald Trump any way that they want to. They can send out the wolves. They can lie to us about a laptop that was real and pretend like there wasn't cocaine in the White House. They can do all these things. Illegal aliens can run around raping 12-year-olds and killing mothers of 5 because they're not black. And we can pretend like there's not racial destruction in this country, where they try to incorrectly use the idea of DEI hires, unqualified people. They try to remove the idea of merit, and they've basically made all these high-end Yale, Harvard, these big prestigious institutions have no quantitative value anymore. The idea of education was so that people would have a background and be prepared for reality in the world. That's why you go to college. They've taken that meaning away, though, because AOC did go to prestigious college, and she's running around with, like, inappropriate, loud music. These are politicians, and they're trying to get people to vote for them. And I'm not saying you can't have rap music in the background, but are you cussing and yelling and acting ignorant and stupid? Like equity and inclusion? Are we really? That's the terminology. That's the verbiage we want to use. That's the environment that they have created. And you know what? It's not working. There's people in the Bronx, South Bronx, regular Bronx. They got to get up every day and they got to go to work, right? They have kids. They live in an apartment. Maybe they have a brownstone. They live there. That's their home. And they never see AOC. And they never see Jamal Bowman. And they never see any of these people. Because these people don't come to their neighborhoods, right? They don't come near them. AOC lives in a penthouse, right? With her white fiance. Where she ridicules and insults white people. It's insane. But okay. The more that they do this, the more that they prove me wrong, right. The more that they continuously attack me, you, and anybody Christian that believes in Jesus Christ. I am a Catholic. I love my faith. I love my Father, Father Ford at church. I love my parish. I love the people that believe in what I believe in, right? And before I was Catholic, I was Baptist. And I love religion. I love God. I love the idea of believing in something. And I don't know how I would live without faith, right? So I'm not going to apologize for believing in Jesus Christ. I'm not going to apologize for going to parish every Sunday. And I'm not going to apologize for being a part of my church and having that be a part of my life. No, I'm not going to say sorry for that. I'm not going to say sorry because I do think abortions are wrong. And I think if you've got one, then you're going to have to deal with God on your own damn time. I'm not going to apologize about the fact that I do disagree with a lot of this trans insanity. Right? My thing is, if you want to be trans and you want to be gay and you want to be any of these things, you can do that. Let's not involve kids and stop trying to continuously shove it down our throats. There should be a limit, but there isn't. That's the idea here. They have no limit. And they'll run with all this bullshit. And you know that they're about to have a debate this week and Biden's hiding somewhere. I mean, dude. Crazy, dude. But okay. They keep talking about the numbers in swing states, but I'm starting to think that every state is a swing state. And I'm starting to think that the numbers aren't looking good for Biden. And they're probably going to bring in Gavin Newsom, who's not going to win. Who fights for the working Americans? Well, it's definitely not AOC in the Bronx. And it's definitely no Democrat anywhere. You know who fights for the American worker? The American worker. When you get up every day, Monday through Friday, tired as fuck, 40 to 50 hours a week, sweat, tear, blood, working your ass off, no days off. And if you have days off, you got to save them, right? You're tired all the time. You don't have any time to breathe. And you get up every day and you work and you have like one day off, maybe. You start thinking, does hope really exist? And if you're in the middle class and you followed the rules and you're trying to save and you're trying to survive, everything has gotten a little rougher for you. So if you're looking for someone to take up for you or promote your struggle or what you're actually experiencing, I'm sorry, you're not going to find anybody willing to fight for you outside of Donald Trump that a lot of people don't like. And it confuses me that people don't like him because he is the only man, and yes, he has a lot of money, willing to say things to promote the middle, the working class, the working people. The great thing about Donald Trump is he is very easygoing. He is comparable, right? He's someone who is not too big for his own ears. He's very relatable. And I hope I'm not coming across as a psychotic fan, because I'm not, right? I did vote for him twice, and I'm not going to apologize for that either. I am a Republican, a Christian conservative Republican woman. And I'm not going to apologize for that either, right? But here is what I'm going to say. The only one fighting for us is him. There's only one man to stand behind. It doesn't matter where you live, what time it is, what year it is, what century it is. It doesn't matter the color of your skin or the texture of your hair. If you care about your freedom and yourself, then you got to vote for Trump. Now, you could ignore everything I'm saying. Call me irrational. Call me insane. Make fun of me. Say whatever name you want. I've probably already heard it, and it doesn't affect me anymore because I don't care. But remember, when you're making these decisions and you're voting for these stupid people, there are going to be consequences. And Laken Riley was one of them. And she's not the only one. A 12-year-old died, okay? 12. So who believes in the middle? Trump. The taxes on waitresses shouldn't exist. And just recently, Trump went, I think, to Philly. And he offered $500 in a restaurant for the people that work there for them to split it. And I don't think that waitresses and waiters should get taxed on their what they take in, because they don't really make a lot of money, and that's their livelihood. So we should be making their lives easier too. I think that'd be a great reward for them, actually. The private parties that the Democrats are going to trying to raise money are really pathetic, and they can't hide from that. And finally, climbing the ladder, what aren't they willing to do to hold on to their power? Are they just willing to watch the entire world burn to a crisp so they can be ahead of the curve with their world views and their uniparty actions? There's no world view, right? China and Russia are partnering, okay? Is no one paying attention to reality? Are you not looking at the numbers? The United States of America is doing horribly, dude. I listen to people in their conversations, and normal people are smart enough to know not to put their money in small banks because small banks could go kaput, right? Normal people are smart enough to know maybe this is not a good time to get into the housing market because the rates are insane. It might not be a good time to buy a new car because the rates are insane. And even if you can't afford it, maybe we should stop eating bacon because it costs too much money, right? Things that you would normally do that you wouldn't be thinking about are things that maybe you're putting to the side, That is what I'm saying. That is what I'm saying. We have to do a better job of calling these things as we see them. It's insane to me that we sit here and we try to rationalize insanity. My friends, today I will be adding a segment to the podcast, and it's coming on right after this. It's going to be called Into the Matrix. So, let us go into the Matrix. I think that we are so far gone right now that trying to wake people up from this sleep, right? Trying to wake people up from their lackadaisical bedtime is far harder than it might look. You've injected the serum in your neck, bro. You're all under in that machine, floating around in reality. And you think what you're seeing is real. You're agreeing to allow thieves to take your money, overtax you, and gate themselves away from everything that they destroy. You've allowed yourself to think that it's appropriate and it's okay for them to target you because you believe in religion. I'm the first person to say I don't really understand everything that there is to understand about Jewish faith, but I have nothing but support for my Jewish brothers and sisters. And like I said, many times, I grew up with lots of Jewish friends, and I still have Jewish friends now. And I have never looked at them any sort of way because they're Jewish. In fact, I think that them being Jewish is cool. I've never thought anything about it at all, honestly. And the idea that I'm supposed to just kind of fucking irritates me. So into the Matrix we go. What kind of pill did you have to take for you to be in denial about reality, condemning an entire religion and an entire group of people? What kind of Matrix trip have you gone on where you want to deny reality entirely because it irritates you or it doesn't feel nice? How far are we supposed to go down this rabbit hole of shit until we get to the point where we wake up from this nightmare with Neo and Morpheus? It's not working. I did take the red pill. I like knowing what's happening in reality. I don't watch Clinton News Network. I don't watch MNDNC. I don't know any of the people's names on any of the shows, and I kind of make fun of them because they all sound ridiculous. Jake Slapper is an embarrassment to anyone in the media, and the media is a joke too. That's why the name of the prior segment, No Media Allowed, is No Media Allowed, right? Taking the red pill with Neo in the car with Trinity sitting there, and I easily remember Matrix because I've seen it a million times, gives you the ability to call people out. And taking off a week and having the ability to come back into this, especially after seeing Jamal Bowman and AOC in that last stupid reaction of theirs, is quite entertaining for me, right? I live fairly close to New York, and it's not that far away for us. And I told you how much of a passion I have for New York, right? How I basically, that's like my second home. I grew up there. I was there all the time as a kid, right? I was. But being aware that the Matrix is real, being aware that, you know, the idea of Mr. Smith might not actually be Mr. Smith, but it's the government feeding us shit, giving us like fake pills, right? Telling us like it's water and it's not. It's toxic to our brains. Telling us that we should turn off our ability to process our own bodies, like what they did to us during COVID. I do think we need to take trips into the Matrix and question things. Why isn't Dr. Fauci in jail? How much of our freedoms do we have to give away as human beings to these governments? Is the uniparty actually for the people, or is it for the rich elite? And how far does the rich elite think they're going to get? In the Matrix, where we really do exist and live, and we can see everything for what it actually is here, how far do they think they're going to go? How far are you willing to allow them to go? In the Matrix, and the reality of all of this, I'm saddened by the fact that humanity is kind of fucking stupid. I'm saddened by the fact that women are willing to have the government be their children's dads, right? I'm saddened by the idea that women don't have enough strength to understand that none of these political people are any type of idol for you to look up to. I'm saddened by the idea that actors and actresses are desperate for attention, so they'll do anything for it, and they have misused their power to an extent where it isn't coming back. Unfortunately, now we live in reality, and the reality of it is that it's a dark-ass world, and we have to be the light in the darkness. And when you are the light in the darkness, everybody hates you because they're the darkness. I'm really recognizing that. Not just where I work, not just where I eat, not just where I shop. It's just everywhere, right? The moment somebody finds out that you're energetic, you're enthusiastic, or you're attempting to make it in the world and you're attempting to make a difference, they change their whole perception. They get kind of irritated and angry because they're miserable. I don't understand that reaction, but I've had haters in my life my entire life. I guess when you're born beautiful and smart, everybody fucking hates you, and that's not my problem. And I've told you about that many times. I have a best friend, but I can't remember the last time I talked to her, and that's fine. She still can be my best friend. Just, I guess as you start to grow older, you start to recognize that you got 10 fingers and 10 toes, and if somebody's either here for a reason or a season. In the matrix of reality, which I live in, I'm not going to apologize for who I am, where I've come from, or what I've done. And today is Monday. It's June 24th, 2024. And I'm not sorry about a fucking thing. And neither should you be either. We don't apologize for succeeding or making it. You're not apologizing because you graduated, okay? You're not apologizing because you got a promotion. You're not apologizing because you moved into the career you actually want to work in, or you started working at the company you actually like. You're not apologizing because you're willing to walk away from something you don't like for something that you do. You're not saying sorry because you want to be great and you don't want to be ordinary. The idea of the Matrix with Neo and this really weird layer of reality that we're in, as we see the decay of the planet that we're living on. Not because we're destroying the planet with lights and electricity, but because we're destroying the planet with stupidity and ignorance. In this matrix that we're all in together, brothers and sisters, I want you to see that the only way we're going to win this war is if we fight together. This has been your first edition of the Matrix, and in this matrix, in this darkness, in this neither, they are continuously trying to attack you, continuously trying to lead you and sway you to an insane reality that's not real. Nobody is really going to save any of us. We have to save ourselves. These untalented people, non-talented, non-worthy people are only out for themselves. And I know that's difficult to hear. Yeah, it is, isn't it? But we're only going to succeed if we try together. If you want to take that blue pill and you don't want to live in reality and you want to see everything the fake way, if you want to call people names and you don't want to deal with the fact that if you continuously have handouts from the government, you're not going to be successful. right? If you're not living in reality and you're living in a brigaded reality, your future is not maybe going to be what you expect it to be. Be careful. Be careful not wanting to see the Matrix for what it is. Because there's no undoing it. Once you are given the option of the blue pill or the red pill, and you've already had that option, but once you take the red pill and the layers are ripped and the glue is distorted and the paint is removed and the scars are healed, and once your eyes are able to see, finally, you can't be blind again. It's impossible. I spent a week last week acknowledging the news, listening to them constantly attack Donald Trump. Not just the news, but I looked at Twitter, I looked at Instagram. I feel like nobody is prepared to talk about things for what they really are. And in this matrix that we live in, it's uncomfortable to deal with that. Denying reality isn't going to get you anywhere. It isn't. And we could pretend like it is, but it's not. In the Matrix, you got one pill or the other. In the Matrix, you could all come together. Is it blue? Is it red? Are you alive? Are you dead? In the Matrix, pick wisely or it'll go to your head. I'm filling out the theme song to this, and I'll let you know what I get to. But in this edition of The Matrix, how many layers do you need to rip away to see the reality of this all? At the end of this, can we be saved? Is this like Mad Max? Is there a way to stop this? Are you willing to call out these people, these liars, these cowards, these fake pretenders that just want applause and they want to be rewarded for doing nothing? Are you willing to see these people for who they are? And these people could be at your job, they could be your family members, they could be your friends, they could be your coworkers, your neighbors, right? It could be the mailman, it could be the guy at the grocery store, or the guy in the parking garage. Unwilling to admit that they decided a reality that's not going to be effective. There's a war on us. Which side are you on here? In this matrix, I want you to think about what I'm going to say. Because I'm going to say it. The Democratic Party, the West, Britain, we're going back. They created this. If they're willing to attack Donald Trump like this, what makes you think you're not next? If they're willing to insult him and attack him and try to take all his money and try to embarrass him in court multiple times, relentlessly, what makes you think you're not next? They are willing to lock up pro-life people because they want to support saving babies from death and murder up to 9 months. What makes you think you're not next? Now, even if you don't believe in a religion, you don't believe in sexuality, you don't believe in any of that, what makes you think they're still not after you? They're taking all your money in taxes. They're making everything way expensive with hyperinflation. They're making your life fucking hell. And you're okay with that? In this matrix, let's go back to Obama. Remember the cages? Was there really anything happening in the cages? And how is it that all this stuff about Biden has come out, but he's still there? In this matrix, are you willing to see reality for it being real? Would you rather take the blue pill and be in denial? Or do you want to take the red pill and just see everything for what it is? We're at a point now where nobody believes in the media, and they shouldn't. So this is your deal for the matrix. Do you want to stay awake, or do you want to go back to sleep? I'm not going back to sleep. I like knowing who people actually are, and I'm okay admitting that these people are heartless, hateful demons, and they will stop at nothing to attack you, me, and everybody that we love, because in their eyes we don't exist, only they do. So in the matrix where we just went, I want you to think about what I said about Obama. Don't you think it's weird that he keeps popping up? Don't you think it's weird that the celebrities keep doing weird things? Don't you think it's weird that these people always have answers for things? In this matrix that we live in, at what point do we just say, what are they talking about? Why do they look so ridiculous? And what are they talking about? Again, they're not living in reality. They can only exist because we give them life. And I think we need to finally turn the light off and give them nothing. In the Matrix, I'm refusing to take any pill outside of the red one, and I like knowing what's happening in reality. And maybe you should join me in that. Moving on from the Matrix, take the red or the blue. It's coming for you. Mrs. Smith is far behind. Don't lose your mind. Thanks for tuning into this first edition of The Matrix. Moving on to the next segment of the podcast, let's get to the main conversation, which is about art. Do you think there's going to be another Picasso? I don't know. Maybe. Perhaps. We'll see. I don't think so. I think that's not happening. Solving puzzles is fun. I have all these puzzles in the house and I can't wait to get to them. Planning is the only way. I mean, how are you going to succeed if you're not going to plan correctly? Does anyone have a journal? I have a journal and I used to write in it, but I don't really have time for that anymore. But the idea of it sounds so relaxing and fun. So maybe I'll get back to that. Planning is the only way. I don't know how to live without organizing. I told you I pick my outfits out for work 4 to 5 weeks in advance because I can't survive without doing that. Just the time that I would spend picking them out every day, I think would drive me insane. So I'm not even going to do it to myself. No, I have to plan things. I have to organize my life and I have to live strategically or I'm going to go fucking insane. So I'll just say that. Does anyone have a need for therapy? I think that for some people, maybe therapy is the answer, and for others, it isn't. I kind of think that therapy is a ruse, and these people are capable of giving people a solution or something to help them accomplish whatever they need help with fairly fast. But I think therapists and sociologists lie to people to keep them addicted on purpose. So they'll need drugs. So, because there's definitely a connection with pharma. And I'm very concerned about the fact that so much of the time is spent trying to determine what's wrong with somebody. But maybe there's nothing wrong with them at all. Just a thought, right? But does therapy actually help? Maybe, maybe not. Hiding how you feel is not going to lead you to success. If you're not feeling something, you got to talk about it, right? And I've been struggling with that. I just feel like when it comes to jobs or it comes to experiences, I keep finding myself in these awkward feelings where, like, I don't want to come across as a complainer, but if something is uncomfortable or you do feel like it's not working out, if you don't say something to somebody, how are you going to fix the problem? You're probably not. You have to be honest about your feelings, and you got to tell people when things aren't working, and you got to talk through an argument or in a disagreement, or you'll never get past it. That's the only way. Honesty and dealing with a situation is the only way you can succeed. Moving on from the main part of the conversation into watching things. Lately, I thought that Mayor of Kingston was interesting. Me and Skip finally caught up with the boys, and every episode just gets better. There's a lot going on in that show. House of Dragons. Honestly, it was off for so long. It came back on, and it's okay. But I'm not sure if I'm feeling it. But I'm trying. Mr. and Mrs. Smith, I'm still on episode 1. Don't kill me. Monsiuer Spade, that looks like a mystery that I gotta watch. Red Queen, The Source, and Criminal Minds Revolution, which appears to be a new edition of Criminal Minds. Very interesting. We'll see what happens with that. Moving on from watching to eating. Chili oil sesame noodles sounds delicious, and I want to eat that. Savory summer salad, again, sounds like something I'd want to make. You're adding in all the veggies you want to that. You're mixing the greens whichever way you want, and you're making your own dressing. To make the dressing, you're using olive oil, lemon juice, lime juice, honey, and honey mustard, and hot sauce. Mix that together. Boom. You just made your salad dressing, and it's delicious. Who doesn't want that? Upside down nachos. I know it sounds crazy, but I think we'd like it, so I think we need to try it. Eating less meat, because I don't know what's going on with these cows and the diseases, but part of me just wants to give up meat again. Portion control is important. So if you're seriously trying to lose weight or get back on a regimen, eat like circles, smart circles, and portion everything out so you can get back to where you want to be. Chopped salad is definitely a great option for the summer. I had a Cesar salad today with Star-Kissed chicken. It was very good. Chicken Cesar cutlets. Doesn't that sound delicious? I saw this recipe on Pinterest for it, and I really want to try it. So basically, you take like chicken from a can, and you fry that in oil, right? And then on top of that, you put like a chicken Caesar salad, and then you eat it. Doesn't that not sound good? I kind of wish that I had that for dinner. Dang. I have chicken Caesar salad for lunch this week, and so far, so good. I love Caesar everything, and if I could, I'd basically eat chicken Caesar for everything. It's so delicious. It's so simple. It's so easy. It's so flavorful. I'm 100% into it. Also, make sure you're drinking lots of water, especially in this heat, and make sure you're segmenting everything correctly for your meals. If we're going to live longer and stronger, then we have to eat healthy, and we have to get back on a regimen. My friends, it's the end of this Monday pod of Born to Be a Star. Hope you loved the new edition and the new segment of Into the Matrix, red or blue, they're coming for you. Run, run, run. Anyways, thank you for tuning in to this Monday edition of Born to Be a Star. Don't forget that you are a star wherever you are, whether it's the night or the day or the morning, whether your hair is orange, purple, or just brown, or whether your name is Mark or maybe your name's Sarah. Whether you live on a broken road in a town where there's 5 people or a town where there's 5 million people, whatever the case may be, don't forget that you are a star wherever you are. Brothers and sisters, not only are we going to light up this world, this planet, this universe, but we're going to light up everything beyond everything, because we are the beginning, the middle, the end. We were here when everything started. We'll be here when everything ends, and we'll be here when everything starts up and ends again. We are omnipresent, just like Jesus Christ, and we can't be stopped because we are the light and we defeat the darkness. I see you, and I hope you see me too, stars. Have a good night, have a good morning, and I'll see you tomorrow. Same place, same time. Don't forget your star wherever you are. Bye!